What's wrong with the CFL? Hi everybody, I'm Mike Lownsbrough along with Burke, and this is Outlaw Sports. First of all, we usually start these shows with some telegrams here. I thought you'd like these ones. Hey, I can't believe I fooled them for so many years. And P.S. I'm still a jerk. Michael Petrie, former assistant general manager with the Calgary Stampeders. And then one more. Hey Burke, do you still miss me as much as I miss you? Tom Higgins. His coach, his former coach. You want to comment?
No comment.
Okay, but I do want your comment because you see the CFL right now, and they so many things seem wrong from my point of view, and I've been covering this league a long, long time. But you know, you look at this thing, they really haven't got the collective bargaining agreement in order. The free agency, it was just wild. I've never seen so many signings. Randy Ambrosie and company seem to they're hell-bent on this Mexican thing. I heard that they went to Mexico and a lot of owners and general managers didn't even show up because they didn't buy into this thing. So then I hear the real reason for that is television. But there's so many problems at home. Why in the hell are you worried about going global? What are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on that are right now the CFL is struggling. You've got the second best football league right now on earth.
Yeah.
And you've got a number of players that don't want to be a part of it, right? When I was playing back in the day, it was a different game. And I often get back to those Saskatchewan-Calgary games back in, 2007, 8, where, I would punch a man in the throat before I would help him up and pat him on the ass and say, good job.
Yeah.
That's not the case anymore. The way you watch the game and the way the game has evolved, it's become truly a business. And I think that we've got the wrong people up top that are running it.
Like who?
I don't know. I really don't want to respond on that.
Is Ambrosie the right guy in your estimation?
You need a guy in there that one has business acumen and two maybe played in the game before or has a football background and that can successfully tie the two back together. You need an entrepreneur and you need a guy that's played the game before.
Burke, I wanted to ask you a quick thing. Right now, Randy Ambrosie seems hell-bent on bringing the CFL into a global situation. I'm not sure I agree with everything he's doing. The Mexican thing and having Mexican players on every team doesn't make sense to me. Going to Europe, really, they're going on and on how we can bring these football players over. Well, a lot of those leagues aren't even as good as what you'll see in senior men's leagues in Calgary.
Sure.
So why the big fuss? I guess they want to have that TV aspect of it, but I just don't get what they're trying to do.
Well, in a lot of ways, it's a copycat league, right? So, the NFL has had a lot of success going over and playing those games in Europe and really building the brand, the NFL football, American football brand over there, where they're selling out. So I think that Ambrosie's trying to copycat that ideology, and I don't think that it's ever going to work. I think it's a waste of time, for one, and two, we just don't have the money to do it. To send two CFL teams to Moncton, where we played the Ticats back in 2010, is a different story, right? When you're trying to build the CFL brand out in the Maritimes, moving a CFL football game down to Mexico or over to England, where these people do not have any clue of one, the league, and two, the names on the back of the jerseys. Yeah, it's going to be a complete waste of time. And more importantly, a waste of money.
And the expense. Yeah, boy, that would be an expense sending two teams over there.
You're talking hotel rooms. You're talking flights.
Exactly.
You're talking what if it's not a good turnout with regards to the tickets? It's called rainbows and butterflies.
Well, they were.
It's a fairy tale.
They were pissed off at the fact that the expense of going out to Halifax to play. So, now you add that over to Europe. Let me ask you about this Halifax thing, because that is another topic. Can Halifax support CFL football? And do you think it's a good, viable solution?
Yes, absolutely. If it not be Halifax, it would be Moncton. The Maritimers deserve a team,
right?
In my opinion. I think it would bode well. You're right, though. Back to your point with regards to the money in building the brand in different areas globally or, across the country in the Maritime. It's expensive. I mean, we went out there, we got our asses handed to us by Hamilton, and we were there from Tuesday until game day, right? So you're thinking hotels, you got flights, you got different appearances. I mean, that's an expensive venture. Right. And then, the boys the boys were out all week. I think Marcus Thigpen came off with 4 touchdowns in that game. We got our asses handed to us. So is it practical to build the brand out in the Maritimes? Yes. Is it a viable option to start a team up out there? Yes. It makes total sense to me. Does it make sense to go down to Mexico or go over to Spain and play a CFL game? Absolutely not. That's ridiculous.
Let me ask you this question. Why in this modern day, and it's been going on for a long time, how in the hell can the West be so dominant and the East struggles? I mean, brutally struggling. And they've got all those great schools down East that are close to their offices. What the hell's going on that happens?
Well, there's a couple of things. Number one, the football's bigger in the West.
Right.
I mean, you drive.
It
anywhere,
is, eh?
You drive anywhere around Calgary, and you're going to see that horse decal on the back of vehicles. They're all over the place. I'd say 1 in every 5 vehicles has got the horse.
Right.
You walk through the streets of Montreal, and half the city doesn't even know who the Alouettes are.
Right.
So I think the West has done a better job of branding, more of an Americanized mentality with regards to their football. And in the East, it seems like it's more business orientated in Toronto and in Montreal. And CFL takes a back seat, if you will. So it's always been that way, in my opinion. And I'm not dating back to before 80 or before 70, but because I can't really speak to that. But football is just bigger in the West. And in the East, there's just so much going on. I just don't think that they branded it the right way, especially in cities like Toronto, where they've had to move their stadium right to a smaller venue, and they're still struggling.
Yeah, well, it worked in Montreal, and while they were winning. It
worked in Montreal because the stadium is right smack dab downtown.
Yep.
And you're not taking a metro 30 minutes out to go to a football game or driving through that ridiculous traffic that you have to 20 minutes out to get to the Big O. It worked in Montreal because of location. It's all a part of the metro, and most of the people going are from the downtown region. So
I've hated this East-West thing ever since Montreal folded back in the 80s and Winnipeg shifted over to the East. I would like to see one conference. The best teams get in. If it's Saskatchewan against Calgary, if it's Toronto against Hamilton, I don't care, as long as the 2 best teams play. I know the CFL doesn't like that because they still have this East-West thing. They want to see Toronto win because that's the center of the universe.
Of course. And they always do. Yeah, and I think hockey's much the same.
Yeah.
They want to see if hockey's going to win in Canada, they want to see the Leafs do it.
They've been waiting an awful long time.
I don't dispute that point.
Yeah.
I think it works this way. But then again, you're getting a crossover now almost every year, right? So maybe you want to put the 4 best teams in the end and make it one conference. I'd be fine with that.
Interesting stuff. See you next time.